hear this? You are not alone. This is the resistance.
Also, I just want to kind of briefly touch on two subjects here. Just recently heard from a buddy of mine who lives in Vegas. He did some research. It wasn't real recent. It was like a year ago I heard about this, but they just started doing these video blogs because we have this Operation Mindfuck Tinman going on. So I just wanted to touch on these two subjects here really quick. The first one is our First Amendment rights to picket in front of the White House. Those have been taken from us. We are no longer allowed to protest in front of the White House, picket in front of the White House, gather in a public forum in front of the White House, when our First Amendment rights state that we have freedom to speech. We have the right to speak in any public forum that we would like to. In front of the White House is no different than any other public forum in the United States. I can go out on my street and say what I want to say. How come I can't go to Washington, D.C. and say what I want to say in front of the White House? It just makes no sense. Also, the next thing I wanted to go over was the Second Amendment laws, right to bear arms and whatnot. Yes, I know, Tinman. I fired you yesterday for possession of a whatnot. My bad. Second Amendment laws state that we as United States citizens have the right to buy and bear arms. We have the right to procure these arms and to use them for our safety. I mean, it's what our nation was founded on. One of the major things, I mean, it is the Second Amendment right for a reason. Our First Amendment right is the right to our freedom of speech and whatnot. And our Second Amendment right, which is number 2, not number 15 or whatever, but number 2, our right to procure and bear arms. These rights have been infringed upon already several times. And they're just trying so far to just basically disarm us. I mean, they're trying to tell us how many bullets we can carry in our magazine. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a good shot. I only need 1 bullet anyway. I don't need much more than that to get my point across when I'm confronting somebody. I don't want to have to ever come to that point, but if it ever did happen, 1 shot would be all it would take. But they want to take away our rights to bear arms at all. They want to completely disarm the United States, and that's the direction they're headed at. And the point that I want to make here is that the only people that are going to be affected by these laws and these gun control bullshit is the law-abiding citizens. Also, I wanted to point out, too, that not once have I ever heard of a law-abiding citizen who owns a weapon going out and using that weapon for illegal means. You just don't hear about that much. I mean, maybe once in a great while you get some crazy fool who doesn't have a record, who never had a way to procure a record of violence or criminal activity of any kind, going out and maybe robbing a bank or something like that, or random shootings. But most of the time, these people who do these shootings are criminals already, or have gotten these guns from criminals who want to get rid of these guns because they were used for prior criminal activities. So the only thing that these laws are going to hurt are the law-abiding citizens, the ones who abide by the laws. Criminals are going to procure weapons whether you want them to or not. They already do, and they already commit crimes. So there's that. The next portion that I want to touch on is police brutality. I was watching a couple of quick videos on Facebook today. My buddy Tinman was scrolling through his Facebook, and I saw a video of police just beating the shit out of people, and I was like, geez, that's terrible. I can't believe that they would use that much force on somebody, especially like women and teenagers and stuff like that. I just can't believe it. But then I got to thinking about it a little more, and what happened before the camera got turned on? Did the guy reach for his gun? Did he pull out a gun, start shooting at the cop, run out of bullets because he missed the cop? Did he swing at the cop and miss, or even actually assault the cop in any way, shape, or form? Yeah, I know. reasonable force. That's the key term here. But you know what? When you got adrenaline running, sometimes it's a little hard to control yourself. Some people black out. Some people see red. You know. But you got to take into consideration, we elect these people, and we elect the sheriffs of our counties to hire these people because we trust the sheriff's opinion and judgment in these people. They go through psych evaluations. They go, you know, we entrust these people to protect us, and those laws are put in place for a reason. Yeah, there is the exception to the rule where, you know, police are going to be a little bit overstepping their boundaries, and I understand that. But police have to be the same thing to criminals as they are to people who are not criminals. For the plain and simple fact is, how do they know that you're not a criminal? They don't know you. They've never seen you before, or even if they have seen you before, they still don't know you personally, unless you actually do know them personally. They're either a member of your family, a buddy of yours before they even became a sheriff or a police officer. Those are the only general ways that they could, you know, you could get around the fact that they know you and they'll treat you differently. Consistency is the best policy when being a police officer or a sheriff's department or sheriff, because you never know what can happen. If you have one system of way of protecting yourself, you should implement those rules every single time. If it's a foolproof plan, you should implement those rules every single time. Regardless of whether you're a criminal or not, if you get cuffed and put on the fucking sidewalk, it's for the officer's protection. I mean, you see some of these crazy videos where officers get shot and killed because of these crazy people. You know, officers are in just as much danger as regular civilians are when it comes to violence and, you know, all these things that happen to. They're just as susceptible to become a victim as well. And I just wanted to touch on that because I saw these videos, and you just never know what you see before the cameras turn on. I mean, you weren't there. Unless you were there and you were the one filming, you're a dumbass because you didn't have the camera on in the first place to see what happened beforehand. Now, there are a few instances where you see security guards and stuff like that get into fistfights with people just because they tell them to leave and they won't leave. You know, that's a little overly excessive. You know, I've seen a couple of instances where a skateboarder was there, he was skateboarding on a private property or some shit, and the security guard came up to him, asked him to leave, and he didn't leave, so the dude pushed him on the ground and started punching him in the face and all kinds of crazy shit. Yeah, well, I understand the concept behind that. It was a little excessive and whatnot. Well, the security guard made himself perfectly clear. Get off the property. Dude didn't listen. Dude got loud. Dude got knocked the fuck out. I mean, there's always going to be a bigger, better badass, right? I mean, if you don't do what you're supposed to do and you don't follow the rules, you're going to get knocked the fuck out or put in jail or hurt or something. These rules are in effect for your protection for the most part, and that's just my opinion. Moving on to the next one. We had police brutality in that last segment. The next one I want to do is overseas brutality with our soldiers, U.S. military and whatnot. I personally think that this overseas brutality, these rapes and this violent acts on these foreign countries and whatnot, foreign citizens rather, are the individual's fault, not the United States' fault. You know, corrupt politicians, corrupt military personnel, people in power in these governments of branches of government or branches of the military, telling these soldiers who, if they don't obey the orders, they're going to get fired. You know, I mean, yeah, they're just following orders. Some of them may be corrupt on their own and just be like, yeah, I'm going to do this anyway. But some of them have families to support and families to maintain, and they have to make that money. For those of you who are unemployed like me, you understand that if you don't do what you're told, you're going to get fired and you're going to lose your house. It's a vicious cycle. So, I mean, it just weighs on your conscience whether you want to do what's right or whether you want to do what's right. And it's hard to make that decision. It really is. You want to do what's right by your family, by supporting them, which means you got to follow these orders that are given to you, but you want to do what's right morally and not follow the orders, so you're going to get fired. What's more important there? Your family or not following the orders? I mean, that's kind of a hard decision to make. That's pretty much the points I wanted to bring up. I really have nothing more to say than that. Please feel free to comment. In fact, please comment. YRV, Daisy, Lone Wolf, whatever the fuck your names are. Get on this shit. Comment. I'm begging you. Please give me a reason to rip you one. YRV, you should be ashamed of yourself, dude. Prior military guy. You should have more pride for yourself, dude, in your country. Daisy, Lone Wolf, you trolled a couple of my music videos that I made, and I just want to rip you one. So there's that. It's more of a personal thing than anything else. But for those of you watching this, you are the resistance, and please keep in mind this is Operation Mindfuck Tinman. See you later.